ready to review our Chillaxin sequence for the upper thoracic spine. So we're going to work on upper back and opening up the chest simultaneously, reviewing with some poses that we are familiar with that we've done several times now. And this would be from the basic training number 4, Chillaxin, our favorite. We're going to get into it from our sumo a little bit more quickly now. Diamond arms, walking out till 10 and 2 on our mats, and then just giving our body a little shift from side to side. Really starting out nice and slow and giving us time to really drop in. So immediately we give attention to the upper back. So even here, where is the head? Where is the sternum? How is the dropping of the hips feeling, and how does that help pull the ribs down as well as let our chest lift? And then we're going to get our leg loops on. So we always hug the swing, wrap around, get the knee in there, second side. So when I'm playing really low, we can bring the swing up higher or lower. We can bring the legs up or down, depending on what's comfortable for us, but we're playing pretty low today. So when I do the Therapeutix, I like to keep it low and slow, and that helps people release. So we're going to give time for that open, align, release. That's our mantra. Okay, so from our Chillaxin, we're going to come into our swagger. Again, pressing. The hands are really strongly interlocked. It's not just the fingertips. Really strongly interlocked, pressing the back of the head into the hands to get that lift through the upper back. So all of our back bend happens not from the lumbar, not from the cervical spine, but from the thoracic spine. And just notice the difference. Really press the back of the heart into the swing. That's really the key here. If you press the back of the heart into the swing, most of the work is going to happen for you. The swing will support you and start to rearrange the posture. Okay, let's just go through our chill flow and take the time to understand the sequencing for one, the importance of undulating the spine, and how we can build on the practice to wind up in a bow, which is a big heart opener. Okay, so wide straddle T, straight up and down. This is where we're really pressing our sit bones down in order to lift through the crown of the head, so we have that pillar, that vertical pillar. And then we're going to hug the leg loops toward us, and now we bow in. So we want you to round your spine here. It's one of the few poses where we do round. And then we counterbalance and blossom into star. Now most people push the hips up. Now let the back of the heart press into the swing, back of the head press into the invisible wall, and lift through the chest. This gesture of receptivity, and undulate back into your child's pose. Get some movement, moving from the chest, from the sternum, from the upper back. And then exhale, round in. 5 breaths like this is usually wonderful for releasing all the tension from sitting, from driving, from computer. And most importantly is this expansion, opening up. Next time we open up, we're going to squeeze the legs together, hands to prayer. We just went over Namaste, but let's do it again. So pressing the back of the head into the invisible wall, lifting the chest, keeping the thumbs at the sternum. The more you press your hips up, the deeper the stretch. Just let that feel good. Reach up, grab for the swing, adjust to the lower back, get into ladle, and again a big back bend. Big opening. So the head's just relaxed here. The crown of the head points down. We're not really holding the upper body, we're more relaxed in the upper body. Squeeze the legs together, push the hips up, and really allow there to be more space for the front of the spine. And then when we're ready, we bend the knees, and we can reach back and grab for the feet for bow. Now bow is our biggest, most advanced pose here, and most of the time people lose the space and alignment. So make sure that when you grab for your ankles, you can pull your heart away from your heels and push your hips towards the sky. Knees stay even with the hip bones. So we don't want to flare out and drop the hips. Really get that spaciousness. Pull the feet away from the heart. And then release. Slowly reach up, hold on to the swing. Inhale, head up. Exhale, hips down. Just such an amazing rush every time that we come up. Such a powerful practice. Back to Chillaxin arms, always supporting the neck whatever it needs. It's really a strong practice for the upper body, for the upper back. So taking your time in between poses. And we're just going to keep going for it and move right into the chest openers. Our absolute favorite pose is butterfly. We get into that through skydiver. So that looks like reaching for the knees, sliding up the leg loops as high as we can. We're going to inhale, lift with the chest, keep looking up, bicep curl, press forward with the hips and the chest, and then sink back. Now most people are pushing down through their legs instead of just doing a real honest bicep curl, so just the arms, bicep curl, and push the hips forward, which means you're not going to come up that high, right? Try to keep the hips level with the knees. It's more challenging, that is for sure. Exhale, squeeze. It's like a mini child's pose. And then bicep curl lift. Now this is preparation for skydiver. If we can't go too far here, then we're not going to keep going, right? So we're just going to keep undulating back and forth until we feel like we have enough openness to continue on. Inhale, lift with the heart, lift with the gaze, and then balance. Balance. Okay? So we're going to rock forward. We rock forward and back so we can get over that little hump, right, in the hips. So we just get to a place where it actually feels like you can press the hips forward. This is the skydiver pose. Tee the arms, thumbs up. Take a breath. So everything's being splayed open. If your arms are back, then you're not able to get the same openness in the chest. So to keep the head lifted, you press the hands forward. If you bring your hands back, you head dive. So we're going to try to stay right in alignment with the shoulder joint. Then we can bend the elbows. Now we can drop the chest. So my hands are all the way up here. If they slide down to my waist, I've lost the pose. I really need to keep my arms in a T, and then thumbs come towards the shoulder. You can kind of wiggle it into the elbow crease to get a better hook. Knees wide, feet together. And now I'm pressing my hips forward and down. So it's forward and down to get over that hump. And I don't often drop the head. What I'm doing is I'm pressing my head in alignment with my body and dropping my chest. Only if the head feels good. If you need to drop the head, it's okay. It just puts a whole lot of weight and strain on the shoulders. Okay, to come out of it, we're going to slowly sink the hips back. And we're going to pull with the arms. And then we can come on back to our Chillaxin. Now we're going to do that one more time. And our favorite alternative being our high diver legs, because some people, their hips just won't allow with comfort that much openness yet, so we're going to work up to it. Come on back to center. Inhale, bring the arms open wide and around, reaching for the knees. Slide up the leg loops as high as you can, and bicep curl up to stand. Now I'm right in the center of my mat. I adjust the leg loops so they're kind of in a sweet spot. There is a sweet spot. And then I'm going to lean back because there's a space right here between the leg loops and the swing. I hold on to the swing, bring my hands to prayer. So make sure you're free from the leg loops here. That way we can press our arms forward and around and then lean forward with the hips. Now I'm going to keep my arms out to a T, walk my legs out to a V. Go through the whole alphabet here. I'm up on my toes. Just wiggle from side to side to get to the leg loops in a good space. And then I'm going to practice flapping my wings. So my head is lifted, my gaze is lifted, my chest is leading the way. Now my hips aren't getting as deep of a stretch, so I can really focus on the upper body. So now we're flapping. This really helps for our angels to learn how to fly again. And it feels really good on the arms. We're actually tractioning the fascia from the shoulder to the bicep. That's one of the benefits. But we're also learning how to lead with our chest and get this big openness. Okay, when the hands come all the way back, you can feel that strain in the shoulders, so I like to keep the arms out to a T and then bend. Now when I bend, I can wiggle a little bit to get the swing into the sweet spot there. And then I can pick up my legs and float. I'm going to bring my feet together. My feet are going to rise. I do that by pushing my hips down. That's my engagement. Most people just let their feet hang, right? But if we're really going to get that big arch through the upper back, we're going to pull our feet up, knees open wide by pushing the feet together. Yes. And then from here, so the same thing. I don't like dropping the head. You can if you really need to, but see if we can keep this new alignment where we're pressing the back of the head into that invisible wall, front and back of the neck long, and just letting the chest drop. Okay, another option here is to hook the toes, so you can even be up a little bit higher for those that are more advanced. That feels really good to me because then I'm getting some deep work in the hips, but only if you can feel good in that deep stretch. Do you like that? Mm-hmm. Isn't that good? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for our advanced friends, we can hook the feet and bring the bottoms of the soles together. Okay, so come on out, release. Feet come down wide, and the same movement, I'm going to press, 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 and come up, really using the chest. So if you wanted to do some strengthening for the pectorals, you would come here, and then press, 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 and lift. And if you do that a few rounds, you'll really feel the pecs turn on. Okay, lean back when you're ready to come out. We're going to push the leg loops back down to the knees. Hang out in Chillaxin. We're going to come back into our swagger position, Chillaxin arms. Always use the Chillaxin arms. It's such a great way to open up the chest. We're rearranging the posture and getting the shoulders to move back, as well as an opportunity to create length and space. So another nice trick, Beth, is when I clasp my hands, I'm going to pull up and out. So I'm giving myself that self-massage where I'm really mobilizing the occipital ridge with my hands pulling up and out, up on a diagonal towards the top corner of the room. So not only am I able to lean back into my hands can give my head and neck a nice massage in there. So even here, and I'm going to just go ahead, and Beth doesn't mind, I'm going to go ahead and show how I do some YOGASSAGE from this position. We're going to move into some YOGASSAGE, and she's like, yes. So we're going to switch over to this end of the spectrum. So yeah, so keep your hands clasped. That's the thing, is most people will just drop and lose the grip when I come over. But I like to take my hands and come right underneath the occipital ridge, and I just gently pull back, and I rock from side to side. Now, I'm not bowing in or bending in or leading with my head. I'm actually just leaning back and letting that natural momentum, that swing happen from side to side. Does that feel good? Yes. Yeah. And so I'm not pulling too hard because then the body contracts. Just right, just enough. And then the other move that I like to do is I come under the arms here, and I'm going to pull straight back here. Now she can rest her head on my belly if we're comfortable with one another.
That's nice.
Yeah. And I'm just leaning back on a diagonal, and I can give her a little sway from side to side, opening up both the shoulders and the upper back. And that's a great adjustment as well. So that's a little hands-on for that series. I'm going to let her go nice and slow, make sure that she's still holding on, because sometimes people collapse. See if you can keep that space we created. That looks great. So the head back into the hands would just be about right there. There you go. Yeah, just tiny little adjustments make all the difference. Awesome.